Hello, my name's Peter Smith, and a few weeks ago we filmed a video with my friend Fred, the renowned economist, who's predicted the last two recessions very well in his books. And he's predicted the next recession, which he says will be far, far worse next year. Now, this video went viral. We've had way over 500,000 views. It's been clipped and blogged and put on TikTok. It's gone everywhere. A lot of people wanting to know more or criticizing what Fred was saying. Now, we thought we'd make another video that will actually answer the questions of the people, of the thousands of people who commented on the video and people who've blogged about it and wondered what it is Fred was trying to say. So we're going to ask Fred those questions. Hi, Fred.
Hello, Peter.
So what did you think about how many people viewed your amazing little video, which was just us having a chat?
I was astonished, but it shows that people are genuinely concerned. They are intuitively aware that something fundamental is going wrong with our system, and therefore they're on the lookout for explanations.
So I went through all of the questions, the comments of various people, and I've put them into little blocks together. So I think the first one is actually questioning the prediction itself. So it's, a few people said, the broken clocks right twice a day and all that kind of stuff. So somebody called Brett Carter, 6189, he said, I've been hearing people say collapse is coming next year for so many years, I've lost track. They give compelling arguments, but it always ends up not happening. I'm sure it's coming, but saying next year has started to become white noise to me. I've started to just tune out for the most part. I don't think anyone has any idea what's going to come on. And another one from 910 Dawkins, always someone predicting a recession tomorrow. Hundreds of predictions constantly. A broken clock is right twice a day. And then we've got a great one here. Fred is awesome. He's correctly predicted the last 13 global collapses in the last decade. So there you go. People don't understand what you've been seeing in your works that correctly predict the last two recessions and why. And you haven't made any other predictions. It's all this idea that you've made countless predictions is just not true. You've written about two economic recessions, which were correctly pronounced to be at the time they were, back in 1992 and 2008 to 10, when those economic collapses happened. So why are you right?
Well, to start with, people are right to be skeptical about economists making predictions. The reality is that economics as a discipline is in a mess, and therefore it warrants cynicism. The problem is that if people irresponsibly throw the accusation at people like me that we don't know what we're talking about, that ends up not being helpful. As you quite rightly say, Peter, I've made very specific forecasts. I've published them. They are in the public domain, and it's not every year. So, for example, in the first prediction, it was published in 1983 in a book called The Power in the Land. It's available still on the Shepherd Walwyn website. In this, I said that if history continues to work as it has been doing for most of the time, then the business cycle lasts for 18 years. And in 1983, I proposed that the next end of the cycle would be 1992. Not next year, not 1995, but 1992. And I was correct. So the next forecast was after that cycle had ended, I realized that if you just add 18 years to 1992, the end of the cycle would be 2010. So in 1997, I published that forecast in a book called The Chaos Makers. Very specific. The house prices would peak 10 years in the future in 2007. House prices in the UK peaked in the final quarter of 2007. So this was not me making annual predictions, one of which was bound to come true. And in 2005, economists were saying, oh, there's going to be a soft landing now in 2005, and then all will be well into the future. So I published a book called Boom Bust. Now this book said, no, there's not going to be a soft landing now. We're going to continue on till 2007. Prices will peak, and then we will have a terrible downturn, a global, not recession, but depression. And the 10-year austerity that followed 2008 was a depression, however you look at it. Now, people who say, oh yeah, but economists making these predictions every year, so they're bound to be right eventually, that's all very well. It's a fair criticism. But unless those people inform themselves correctly so that they don't level that accusation at people like me, they're going to reinforce the present way of viewing the world that the economists promote, which then in turn is absorbed by governments. So yes, be cynical, but get informed. Buy some books and do a bit of research so that you know why I make these very specific predictions. And so when we come to the present time, it wasn't magic that enabled me to add 18 to 2010 to say that the end of the cycle, the new cycle, would be 2028 with house prices peaking in 2026. Everything suggests that I'm going to be correct. Read up the literature and then offer your comments.